Well, welcome to the podcast. And I am so glad you're here. So I want you to get a notepad, pen, paper, whatever you need to do to take some notes because we are going to dive deep into how to declutter your business and get organized. So you hear me talk about this on every podcast. We got to get you organized. So hopefully by the end of this podcast, we'll give you a couple of things that you can do immediately to start seeing that you can take 5-10 minutes to declutter. Welcome to the Unstoppable Real Estate Agents Podcast. I'm your host and real estate productivity expert, Kim Hughes. Join me as we focus on real strategies and implement real solutions designed for you to achieve major success in your business and life while getting you organized. Because if you're one of those agents that has sticky notes, pieces of paper, business cards, you don't have a system in how you organize, one, your database. So that is the lifeline of your business, as you know. So that's where we want to focus first and see what you have in your database that's usable. So the first thing you're going to do is go into your phone, your iPad, your laptop, an Excel spreadsheet, wherever you keep your contacts, Google contacts or Gmail contacts. If you don't even keep up with them, but you keep the emails, then let's dive into those as well, because we want to get every person that you have communicated with, that you have helped buy or sell, you just had a conversation, because we're going to break them down into different categories on how you now follow up with them. So the first thing that we want to talk about is, how to audit your business. So what you need to do is sit down and look at all of your current systems. And if you can't, I'm a visual, so I'm going to talk from a visual standpoint. And if you have another way of doing it, on your laptop, on your computer, then you do that. We want you to do what works for you. I'm just going to give you the tips on how to do it, and then you find the way that's going to help you accomplish this task. So what I want you to do is, again, get all of your contacts from wherever they may be, and then put them in categories. So you could say like, A is, your best client. B is, a buyer that bought with you. C is seller that bought with you. Warm leads, hot leads, cold leads, business to business, whatever those categories need to be, then let's create them and then move them or in my head, I'm going to create a spreadsheet and I'm going to have a column that tells me who they are. Were they a buyer, seller, past client, current client, future client? Where do I put this person? And then that way you know how to follow up with them. So then by doing that, you're creating that system of how you follow up and how you organize your database. So you should have a daily 5 minutes that you set aside, that maybe even 10 minutes, where you sit down every day and you put in everybody you've met that day and you give them a category. And then they should have a follow-up sequence. Not everybody will have a follow-up sequence because some of them may be, where a text message might be better. So what I recommend is that you not only have an email sequence that can go out, but you also have a text message. And what I always recommend is that when you meet someone, and you discuss with them, their goals and everything, and then you get back home or back into the office, then you want to follow up with them on a text message that could say, hey, it was great to meet you today. I look forward to working with you in the future. Just keep me updated on what you're thinking of doing. And, whatever that may sound like, I'm just giving you hypotheticals here, but this is where you can really start nurturing that relationship. The same way with a business. So, let's say you went out to lunch with your insurance agent, you get back to the office, you send them a little text, hey, I enjoyed having lunch. Pull out something that was really a standout in that conversation and touch on it, and that way they know you were paying attention and that you were engaged, and they will appreciate that. So then they will see that you are someone that they might want to continue to do business with, have a relationship with, so that they can nurture your side as well as you nurture them. Because we want you to be top of mind on everybody's mind when you are looking for real estate, So that's one way. So then I want you to take that spreadsheet and I want you to decide, where do you house that? So do you have a CRM system that you can upload it in? Do you have, Google Drive? Are you just putting everything in there? Dropbox? Where do you want to keep this database? Because it's got to be nurtured in some way. Now, by putting it into your CRM should also have, a way for you to create email sequences if they don't already offer them to you. So keep that in mind. So, right now what we're looking at is gathering that information and putting it in one central location. And then we'll decide what is the best system for you, okay? That could be a CRM. It could be, like I said, it could be just your Google contacts, but you've got to have them somewhere. You might even open up a MailChimp account because I want you to do a newsletter. So you put your database in there and you keep it organized in that fashion. So there's 100 ways that you can do this. So you've just got to find what's going to work for you. And if you're one of those people that says, yeah, I'm not doing that, I'm just not that person to be that detailed, then look at it this way. You're leaving money on the table and you're giving someone else business. So this should be one of the most important things that you do every single day. And if you're not going to do it, then you need to hire someone that can do it for you because it's that important. And then, maybe at the end of the week, you get a little recap from them telling you who they added, how they added them, to make sure that they put them in the right category so that when you start your follow-up, they're right where they need to be and not a mistake has been made. So by doing that, then what you want to do is build out your 12-month campaign. So this is what a lot of people know as the 33 touch that Gary Keller implemented many, many years ago. Still tried and true today. You're just going to tweak it a little bit. That's all you're going to do. And in my house, I look at it this way, that if you're going to create that 12-month campaign, it needs to be detailed. What day of the month does it go out? What is it you're sending? What is it you're trying to get that message to? So that could be your newsletter. So what you're doing in your newsletter is you're talking to all of your database. But then you can maybe even do a little newsletter tip type thing for your business owners, for your other agents, in other markets that you want to keep in touch with for referrals. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. We've just got to figure out what's going to work for you. And then I'm giving you those options, and then I want you to follow up or reach out to me, and I will help you determine what is the best way that's going to work with your brain on how to keep this organized going forward. So you got to get it organized now, and then going forward, have a system in place so that you're not spending hours and hours and hours trying to catch up again. So we've talked about exporting your database. We've talked about putting them in different categories, segments, tags, whatever that is that speaks to you. And then you're going to create your 12-month calendar. What are you going to send? So every month, I want to see agents sending out a monthly newsletter. Your market stats, even though they may be in your newsletter, send them separately because they're probably going to come out before the newsletter. So if you put them in your newsletter, you can just say, this is a follow-up in case you missed it. Here are this past month's market stats. Do a video on it. Give your opinion on those market stats. What is your take on it? Because you are the expert in the community and you are branded as the authority in your market. So a lot of people are going to be listening to what you have to say. And, you got to take the politics out of it. You've got to just remove yourself from all of that because at the end of the day, we just want to know what's going on in our market with the housing prices. Is it a good time to buy, sell? What are we doing? And then, if you're doing this as a one-man show, then I would recommend that you set reminders on your phone that tells you, okay, I send out my newsletter on the last Tuesday of the month. So I need to have, 3 or 4 days to put that newsletter together. So I need to remind myself maybe on that Wednesday prior. Okay. And you allocate maybe an hour or two to put your newsletter together. And it's a work in progress. You could be that person that works on it all month long. As you think of something, you go put it in your newsletter. Or it could be that you just style up your notes on what you want to put in your newsletter. You may keep it in your notes on your phone. So just know that as the month goes on, things that you think of that would be of interest to your audience, then put it in a place where you remember. So when you do sit down to do your newsletter, then you can go back and look at your notes and you don't have to remember everything or think, oh my gosh, what was that idea that I had? Oh my gosh, I forgot. So make sure that you don't just depend on your mind to keep up with everything, because there's a lot going on in that head of yours. Now we also talked about, keeping your database in a Google Doc. You can do that. You can keep it in an Excel spreadsheet, keep it in a folder, whatever is going to work for you. A couple of programs that I do recommend is, Google Calendar is universal. It works with everything. So maybe this is where you decide to start using Google Calendar if you're not already. And that's where you have your reminders, you have your notes, you have everything talking to you. Another program that would be good is Trello. I love Trello. I've been using it for a couple of years, but really dived into it in the last 3 months and am blown away by what it can do. And I'll leave a link below. It's free. So jump in there. And if you need some help with Trello, you can always go over to YouTube and put in, how to use Trello. And there's tons of videos on it. But if you'd rather have that one-on-one, then I'm more than happy to schedule a call with you and show you how to get started with it. Get ready to transform your life and your bottom line by turning expired listings into money in the bank while building your listing inventory. And we have done it all for you. Let me introduce you to the ultimate expired listing system. We have worked on this for 25 years and we have perfected it to show that this system is proven to bring you listings. In this course, you will get 7 video lessons on how to create a step-by-step system. You will get 10 postcards with a specific message or a call of action, 10 email sequences designed for the seller, 10 letters that will attract the seller's attention with a call of action, and then you'll get scripts created for you to schedule that first listing appointment. Your introductory package. This is the secret sauce to the success of the ultimate expired listing system. I'm giving you worksheets that we have created to keep you organized through the process. And these how-to videos that we have created for those who need a little help with technology and how to use it is to your advantage. We also offer you a private Facebook group dedicated to those that use the system. If you have questions, this is where you will go. You want to network, this is where you go. And then we give you a bonus. We give to you the tools you need to create the profitable expired listing system. We are always offering bonuses for your accomplishments, extra training and support from the Kim Hughes team. We bring you over 80 years of combined real estate experience. Yes, we have that much experience. Ready to change your life? Ready to grow your business? Let's get started. Jump over to theultimateexpiredlistingsystem.com or visit kimhughes.com to learn more and how we can help you put this system in place. When you have that database organized, that database is going to make you money, but you've got to know how to put it together. So we talked about, the newsletter and the email sequences and all of that. But then on the personal side of it, you want to also add their birthdays and their home anniversary and make sure that you acknowledge that. So what I always say is you send them a birthday card in the mail. You want to do that depending on how your mail system works. Maybe it might take a couple of days to get there. So you always mail it a few days before. So hopefully it lands there on their birthday, but if not before. I'd rather it get there before their birthday than after. But you can't control the mail. So just do what you can do. And then the same with the home anniversary. If you want to send them a home anniversary card, congratulations, happy anniversary. That's all you need to do. But if you want to take it another step further, you could do a closing gift of some type. And that is always something that you can do. Drop it by, and deliver it in person, with some flowers. Maybe you have a coupon for a dinner, whatever that may be. There's tons of ideas for closing gifts. I go on Etsy and I see where you could do monogrammed pillows to put on their couch. That's a great conversation piece, by the way. A serving tray that they can put on their island. That's also a great, conversation piece. People love to ask, where did that come from? That's so pretty. And then when they say, oh, my realtor, Sue, then that person's going to go, my agent didn't give me anything. So you know how that works. You've got to build that relationship. You've got to build that trust. So what is it that you're going to do that you feel good about doing? Don't just do it because everybody tells you to do it. Do it because that's who you are, that's your personality, and market yourself around that so that when people do get to know you, they understand, they really are that person. They're not trying to be somebody they're not. So make sure that you go into this, open book. You are here to help them. You will follow up. You're going to nurture them. You're going to love on them, and they're going to come back and do business with you, and then they're going to refer business to you. So, wow, that was a lot. So I hope you took some great notes. But remember, it's something that you don't have to do overnight. It's the progress that you make. So that's why I say set aside 10 minutes every day, 15 minutes. So that way you don't get burned out working on cleaning up. Right? So when you put in, say, I'm going to focus 15 minutes today on cleaning up my database. Guess what happens? The next thing you know, it's 30 minutes and you've gotten a lot accomplished, but you may only have 15 minutes and that's okay. Do what works for you, but take it and make it a priority in your daily business life. You just got to take that step. Once you start making that step, it feels so gratifying to get that in order. And because that's the first thing agents will tell me when they reach out for a consultation is when I ask them, tell me about your database. They'll tell me it's a hot mess and, they're not proud of it. So let's make that the priority for this next week. So when you get through listening to this podcast, I would love to see you write down, where do you want to keep your database? And then start looking at all the places where you have contacts and think of one place that you will put them so that when you do sit down to start organizing them, they're all in one location and you're not spending extra time looking for everything. So those are my 2 walkaways for today. So, decide where you want to keep your database and then start setting aside 15 minutes a day to start working on getting it organized and getting those people put in the right category. Once you have them in the right category, we'll help you with the email sequences and what you should do and how those newsletters should flow. So let's talk about those right now and get those 2 items taken care of. And then if you want to reach out to me because you don't have time, you get frustrated with this little task, reach out to us. We are so good at organizing databases and we've been doing it for 25 years. So, we know how to help you. If you enjoyed this podcast, I would really appreciate it if you'd leave a review. If you'd like to watch the video, it is over on YouTube. I'd love for you to follow me and subscribe over there. And then there's also a blog that you can read on my website. And you can go to kimhughes.com and then go to the menu and click on blog. And you'll be able to read it. We've given you options because everybody thinks and learns in a different way. So that's why we decided to do a blog, a podcast, and a YouTube video. So I hope that this has helped you. I hope that you will stay with me because next week we're going to dive deeper into lead generation. Thanks so much. You have a great week. And again, if you would like to schedule a call with me, just click on the link below and we'll schedule a date. Have a good one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you know someone, and I bet you do, who would appreciate this podcast, please share it with them. As a reminder, this podcast can be delivered directly to your favorite device by using the subscribe links you can find in the show notes below or over at unstoppablerealestateagents.com. Remember, it takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. Have a great day.